Ensara TV Ekerenga Kiomogusi.
My name is Kangogo Bowen, Member of Parliament Marakwet East and the Chair of Blue Economy, Water and Education. The Honorable Chair and Honorable Members, I hope all of you have a copy of what I am presenting here. And Honorable Chair, we don't have a lot of substantive changes. And I will start with the State Department of Blue Economy, which is actually, that's page 13 of the document before you, Chair. It's page 13. And that is on the supplementary. And Honorable Chair, from Monday this week, the committee have been meeting the different state departments and the SAGAs and made the following recommendations on the State Department of Blue Economy and Fisheries. Honorable Chair, under the head 001 8000, that is the landing site called the Kibuyuni, there is a proposal to reduce that at original of 28,500,000, and we are proposing to reduce 14 million. On the same, on the landing sites on Kasi, Honorable Chair, we got an original figure of 63 million. So we're proposing to reduce 50 million. The reduction, Honorable Chair, you will see in the next, in this supplementary, you will see in the additions where we are going to reallocate the money. We are reallocating this money to increase the GOK counterpart on a donor on a project called the APDP and another one, KEMSFED. These are projects which are running along the coastal region of Kenya. Honorable Chair, on Liwatoni, the ultra modern fish hub, there's about 201 million, and we are seeking to reduce 200 million. The reduction is because of the delays in work, because the original contractor abandoned the site, and the State Department actually terminated the contract project of Liwatoni Ultra Modern Fish. Honorable Chairman, this is which was even opened by it was launched by the Deputy President or the President then, the Deputy President and the current President, and that it's a project of about 5 billion. So, and it's been running since I think around 2018 or around 2020, thereabout. But now the contractor who was given this work is like, he's been overwhelmed. He abandoned the site. The ministry terminated the contract. He went to court, and the court actually upheld or supported the government position that the contractor left the site, and now we are seeking to get another new contractor. And so we are getting 200 million from that contract, Chairman, to add into a GOK counterpart in the two projects. The two projects called the Aquaculture Business Development and the KEMSFED, which is along the coast. This project is coming to an end I think this year, end of this years. So, but we still, if you check, we still have almost 4 billion of donor funds which has not been dispersed because of lack of GOK counterpart. So we want to get some money, to reallocate some money to get a GOK counterpart so that we can finish that project. On the next page, page 14, Honorable Chair, so we are reducing 28 million from Malindi, and this one also, we're still seeking some more funds to for the next year. Then on the project in fish market in Mombasa, we are reducing by 43 million. Then, Honorable Chair, now coming to aquaculture business development, that is ABDB, you can see the money we had reduced. We are now adding here about 175 million to reinstate the GOK counterpart, because this project, and remember this money had indicated in the reduction, they were reducing the supplementary too. So we want to increase the GOK counterpart so that the donor funds can be absorbed, and also the completion of this project, which is coming to an end in the next 1 year. So, and then Kenya Marine Fisheries and the Socio-Economic Development Project, that is now the KEMS-FED, and is almost, if you see the money that about the donors funds is about 2.9 billion. So we are seeking to increase the GOK by adding another 173 million, so that now the project can move on and complete within this 1 year. On the State Department, that's on page 15, the State Department of Irrigation, Honorable Chair, the expenditures made pursuant to Article 223 of the Constitution amounting to 70 million spent on emergency response of El Nino. As a committee, we sought to approve that amount, and that is the only money which were withdrawn under Article 223 by the State Department. The proposed reduction of 2.2 billion for the year 2023-2024, comprising of an increment of 12 million from the recurrent expenditure and reduction of 2.2 billion for development expenditure, be approved with the following amendments as shown in the table. COI Murun, which has 900, we are seeking to reduce by 370, and the reduction in the supplementary, you will see that the 900 is because of low absorption of these funds, and we are seeking some more funds for flood control for the national water harvesting. Then number 2, we are seeking about 150 million for, that is, there is the flood control at original 150 million. So we are seeking additional 250. And this one is basically for repayment or payment of pending bills. And another additional of about 120 for the regional offices. You will find that the national water harvesting, they have almost 8 regions across the country. And you will find that they have about 180 employees. Recently, in the recent census, the government, they found that, though it was not true, it was indicated that the national water harvesting have some coast workers, about 80 of them. But it is not true, because many of the workers, they have some regional offices, and you will find that when in those offices, they are not functioning at all. So they form part of almost about 200 employees who are just in the office, and management of and supervision, monitoring and evaluation of all their projects, they are doing it from head office. So what they are seeking, the PS and the CS, so to operationalize the regional offices, so that to reduce the recurrent expenditure, especially on fuel and allowances, per diems, so that all projects, say, in the western part of the country, they will be supervised in Kakamega, and those in central, in Nyeri, in Coast in Mombasa, so, and have engineers and competent officers running those offices. So that is going to help them, and because it's been ongoing, this money is for payment of their pending bills, because those officers, they have not been handed over, because they have not been paid. So on the State Department, those are the only On the State Department of Irrigation, it has two circuses. The NIA, which we are not making any amendment, and NIA, there is no addition, there is no subtraction. In fact, I'm seeking as a board of this committee that we increase more money to National Irrigation Authority. So that is why we have no amendment at all in the headquarters and also in the NIA. Under the State Department of Water and Sanitation of the Honorable Chair, the Nairobi city regeneration, we are seeking to reduce by 50, and this one is just, it's going back to the same institution to pay their pending bills. And then there is 100 million we are seeking to reduce from expressway. There were money which were meant to relocate some pipes in the expressway, which, remember from the time when the expressway started, there were some pipelines along that line, and there is still there are still some pending bills. But those pending bills, quite a number of them, because of directive of government that there is a pending bills committee and they have all the bills need to be verified. So those ones which has been verified, so they are seeking 100 million to pay that one as they wait for the rest. On the next item is seeking to add another 150 to pay pending bills for Dandora sewerage contractor. I think this money, Honorable Chair, this committee gave us last time when we saw that the wastewater from Nairobi River and also from the estates around Nairobi, the Dandora sewer is so small to accommodate. So, and all the waste are going back to the river. So the contractor who was there abandoned the site because he was not paid. And Honorable Chair, if you still have a records for my last presentation, and members of Nairobi County are here, they will tell you that Dandora is the biggest problem now, especially even during this time of flood. And that project, if you check on the strategic plan, they require about 16.4 billion now to make sure that the sewer bonds in Dandora are constructed and to make sure that there is no sewer which goes to the river. But now they are in phase 1. This is only phase 1. Now they are starting phase 2, which you will see, and it's supposed to be 5 phases of about 3 billion almost every year. So the next, Honorable Chair, it is just about 20 million under Lake Victoria North, and it is just a correction of erroneous allocation for funding, which were meant for Mosongo Water Project in the same Lake Victoria North. Then, on increments, Honorable Chair, you will see that that is only 20 million, which we were just correcting the erroneous allocations. Then there is a project, Honorable Chair, which has a 200 million called the Eldas Tito Chakala Wardej Chikinga Sampling. We are seeking to reduce by 160 million. That project is a new project. It has 200 million, but if you will see in the next, they are not able to absorb that 200 million in the next 1 month, but we are seeking the 160 million. There are some small water pans, Honorable Chair, which has been a lot going on in the northern waterworks. And you will see those water pans are down there. Panchapa, all the way through. And we are seeking those, you can see the reinstatements of 10 million. This money, they were reduced in supplementary. So we are just reinstating. And we are reinstating from 160, and you will see that in the next page, when we are going for the new 2024-25, that project now is there. So, and all this one is reinstatement of small amount of money for water pumps. All of them, they were reduced if you check in your books, Honorable Chair. And all the way, then I think the last one is about 200 million also, which we are seeking to reduce in North Rift Valley, because, like I said also, it's a new project, but the ministry saw that this new project to start in the new financial year, but the money which is there to go towards paying the pending bills of some small projects which had a budget cuts, like 30 for Liter, like 20 for Capriego, like 20 for Camoret, like 10 for Wasingishu, and then about 120 for Kewi. So that is it, Honorable Chair, on the supplementary. I submit.
Proceed to the next.
Page. Honorable Chairman, we just go straight to page 14. And honorable members, page 14. And now on the new financial year 2024-2025, you will see that it's just almost the opposite of what we did in supplementary. The reduction which we did in Mombasa, it is reinstated here. Then the reduction we did in Malindi, it is reinstated again here all the way. And then there is a small reduction of fish market in Kwale, which at 50, we are seeking to reduce by 10. And this one is just to complete our ongoing projects, which are about 90-95%. The Kwale project is a new project for the next financial year. We are reinstating the 18 million we had reduced in Kasi landing site. On the landing site, there is a new landing sites now in the financial year 2024-2025, and the new landing sites are Turkana, Kibuyuni, and those two we are seeking to reduce. Turkana, which has 140 million, we are seeking to get about 16 million, and this is a proposal by the State Department, so that to fund the current landing sites, which has about 95-96% and we are requiring only a small amount to complete. So by the time these projects are starting, so they think, so it's good to complete those ones which are requiring like 4 million only to complete. The same thing with Kibuyuni. On stock assessment, which is at 226, all the 226 million is reallocated to Liwatoni Ultramodern Hub. Honorable Chair, because this project for stock assessment, the State Department is saying that the current contract, which is almost complete, and if you check in your books, I think almost the last 2 financial year, it's been on, and it is impossible to do a stock assessment annually at a cost of over $1 billion. So they are seeking, because now they are starting again, the Liwatoni they want to put funds there. On the deep sea, Honorable Chair, they are seeking to reallocate the 51 million since the project the government has stopped the project. This project was meant to train about up to almost 1,000 per county. That is the initial project. The strategy was to train about 1,000 youth in almost all the counties, and this youth is on fishing, especially the deep sea fishing. So they have been doing it.
Looking at the recommendations you have.
Yes.
Don't overemphasize. You can just go through them, okay, because we can see.
Okay. So just to finalize that one, because already we have about 200 young men who have been trained out there, but they have not been placed. So they said there is no need to spend more money continuously training, and these people, they are not getting a place for employment. And then the Liwatoni, Honorable Chair, we just reinstating 226. That is the money we got up there. Then on the State Department of Water and Sanitation, the Honorable Chair, we are seeking to reduce 40 million from small water plants and small dams. And then we are reinstating some funds which were reduced in supplementary 2 for Northern Water projects. Mr. Chairman, Northern Water, they had been reduced by almost close to about 130 million. So we are seeking to reinstate those amounts, so small amounts of 20, 30. And then we are also seeking to reinstate the project, if you remember, in supplementary 2, this project called it Dandalai in Aldas constituency. We are, because it's a new project, now it is starting in the new year, and it is back here, 120 plus 41 there, it is back to 161. Then Dandora, like I said, they are starting phase 2, and there is an allocation of 200 million. Then there is, we are seeking to reduce 50 million from Pukanaji, a project called Pukanaji, and you will see that we are reducing this project because it was already funded. It's complete. The CEO came before us and said that this project was complete and it was launched. So, and we are using the same money there for a project going to Siwa to Tongarend on Kakamega side. There is a project which was vandalized sometime back 2007, 2008, post-election violence. So the main intake is there, but the entire pipeline was vandalized. So now the ministry is seeking to reinstate. And then Langura water supply in Wachia of 100 million, Osongo 250 million, and on Cross County, Honorable Chair, we are seeking to reduce 300, and water for schools 500, water harvesting 150, and rehabilitation of projects in cost to 150, and reduction of 100 from Malava. So on Kabioko, there is an addition of 100. Nairobi regeneration, it does 100. So we are seeking to reduce the 100 because the Nairobi River has been taken over by Nairobi River Commission. So we found that this project is duplicated. And in fact, the Nairobi River Commission, they are treated to the PS that they needed that money to be given to them. Then the 300, getting 300 for water harvesting to reallocate on some other ongoing projects, and you will find that this project is in 8 quarters. So we are seeking that this money to go to the circuses which are on the ground. Madeira Water Supply, Honorable Chair, they had reduced in supplementary 2 by 80 million. So we are reinstating this money because the project is almost complete. So we are reinstating the 80 million. And then that is the end of the reallocations, Honorable Chair. But we have also, as the State Department's Honorable Chair, they have some requests, quite a number of requests. As you can see, the Kenya Fisheries, they are seeking an additional 80 million. Fish Marketing Authority, they are seeking 46 million. Fish Levy, they are seeking all that what you see there, Honorable. So all the list you are seeing, Honorable Chair, there are wish lists they are seeking. And just to say, Honorable Chair, the Ministry of Water in general, they have lost almost 20 billion. They have lost about 4.6 billion in recurrent and about almost 14.4 in development expenditure, which should not be the case, Honorable Members and Honorable Chair. The floods which ravaged the country in a few months, Honorable Members, about almost 60% of water infrastructure. If you look, all of us who are seated here in our constituencies or where we come from, especially the areas of coast region and the northeastern, the entire almost 80% of water infrastructure, they were destroyed by the floods. But here is a case where, again, the budget of water has been reduced by almost 20 billion. So it becomes very difficult, even for this, for the ministry and even the ordinary citizen to get a clean water in those regions. So, honorable members of Budget Committee and the Honorable Chair, I want to plead with you to please look into the programs under the Ministry of Water and increase the funding, especially even the ongoing ones. There are projects which have been going for the last 5 years, and they are not complete. If you check across the country, all the NGOs across the country, Honorable Chair, they are now in northeastern and coast, seeking to help those people with water. Some they have taken with water boosters because there is no drinking water. So we are seeking some more additional resources. So with that, Honorable Chair, I submit.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kagongo. Members, we are going to interact with both reports. So you may raise issues in either way, and Honorable Kagongo will be taking them. Let's start with Honorable Member for Kiaba.
Thank you, Chair. I think there are a few questions that I wanted to raise. Number one is that I haven't seen in a budget line or allocation for Adi Water. I don't know whether Adi Water is not under your department. That's number one. I have not seen anything that touches Adi Water, and Adi Water touches Nairobi, Murang'a, and Kiambu. So you may understand where my concern is coming from, because I come from that county. Number two, there was in the supplementary, there was front control works. That is the proposed committee, State Department for Irrigation, from 150 to 250 million. What is this? And it is stationed in the headquarters. What is this flood control to a tune of about 250 million that you want to do for the next 1 month? That entails that in the next 1 month. On the main budget also, I haven't seen anything for Adi Water, and I wanted to be clear a bit, Chair. On the main budget, there was this program you are calling Water for Schools. Schools, is it in all our sub-county? Have you devolved it to every sub-county, to 290 constituencies within the Kenyan Republic. Where is this money going to a tune of about 500 million? Also, Mr. Chairman, there was the water harvesting and rehabilitation of waterworks. It's also on the main budget to about 80 million shillings. What is this? What is this water harvesting? Where are you taking this money? Because it's a big one. It doesn't even say. Is there a schedule of this amount of money that is going for water harvesting? The last one is on the recurrent expenditure. It was on your wish list, but recurrent expenditure for NIA. You are saying to fund shortfalls in personnel emolument, which stand at Kenya shillings 550 million. So you are requesting, it is on a wish list, you are requesting 208 million. My question will be, what was the recurrent expenditure, if you have any, for the financial year 2024, and why is it a big gap that they feel that they need to fund this amount to a tune of about 550 million? What does it entail, the 208 million shillings? Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Atandi.
Chair, thank you very much. Chair, I have many questions, but I'll try to manage them. The first question, Mr. Chairman, Lake Victoria is the largest producer of inland fish in this country, and I think 90% of fish consumed is from Lake Victoria. Mr. Chairman, I want you to tell this committee how many fish landing sites exist in Lake Victoria, which have been built by the ministry, because I've seen that this entire budget, all the fish landing sites are in Indian Ocean. I'm not against Indian Ocean, Mr. Chairman, but very few people, Kenyans, eat seafood. I'm one of the few Kenyans who eat seafood. We are very few, but most people eat inland fish from inland water, Lake Turkana, Lake Victoria, etc. My second question is has to do with water for schools. Mr. Chairman, I've seen that you are reducing budgetary allocation for water for schools. Even before I emphasize on the question which has been raised by my colleague, the MP for Kiambaa, that this committee would be interested in seeing a list of all the schools in the Republic of Kenya where this projects were funded. I wanted to alert you, Mr. Chairman, that there are two projects in my constituency in this respect, that you allocated 5 million shillings each. There are two schools. I have since learned from the implementing agency that 5 million is not enough to do those projects. So I'm going to ask you to increase the allocations so that the projects are allocated additional 5 million each so that the projects can be completed. 5 million is only enough for digging the boreholes, but implementing and building will not be enough. I'll give you the names. Lastly, I want to find out your investment in water infrastructure in Karen, Nairobi. In Nairobi, in Karen, we don't have water. We only rely on boreholes. Is there any investment which your committee has done so that residents of Karen in Nairobi can receive water? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Moshira.
Chairman, asking this committee to avail resources so that some of these projects which he said are underfunded can be completed. Mr. Chairman, I think in last session, the chairman accused this committee of interfering with the development projects in the allocations in the water sector. Mr. Chairman, I wanted to ask you, do you now believe that this committee has powers to raise resources for you? Because you already accused us of interfering. Do we have any power to look for money to give you, Mr. Chairman? Thank you.
Okay, Chairman, thank you. Taking from where Honorable Atadi has left, Mr. Chairman, I have only two questions. Number one, you're on record, like the Honorable Atadi has said, castigating budget committee, that this committee has been interfering with your work as a departmental committee. I would wish to know the details where exactly this department interfered with your work as a committee. And number two, you've reallocated money for water for schools, and you've said you are taking that money to respective water development works. But when I go through the reallocation, you've actually allocated this money to a specific, I think, 2 waterworks. That is the one for Mosongo and another one, only 2. I think the 500M, Chairman, that you've reallocated. When I go through, I only see 2 waterworks, 2 or 3. And I don't think that's fair, Chairman. The water for schools need to be distributed in all waterworks. And then we need to have the list of the beneficiary for these 500 million, so that we don't approve, then we only see a few money, a few areas benefiting from that. So I would want to have a proper distribution in the spirit of fairness, as you articulated yourself at the floor of the House. Thank you.
Honorable Millie Mabona.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, I just wanted 1 or 2 clarifications, but even as I'm seeking the clarification, I think I want to go on record. I've raised it before, and I want to raise it again. That when you talk about blue economy, it has to do with water, yeah? And if you actually look at this document, there's hardly anything around Lake Victoria. So why is blue economy? Blue economy is not just about Mombasa. It's Mombasa, but even as Atandi has told you, very few Kenyans eat seafood. But a lot of Kenyans have learned to eat fish from the lake. But if you don't want to focus on blue economy, then we need to know, so that whether another ministry needs to be formed, called Lake Victoria Development Ministry. Secondly, in the supplementary, you have removed the rehabilitation of fish landing sites. Though no reason is given, it's presumed that because the time is short, which is 1 month, and I would agree with you, but I would expect that then they appear in the annual budget. So I need to know if they are there, and if they are there, which are those landing sites, as I've been asked, and I'd like to know if Wakula, and there are 2 others, I forget the name, but Wakula and 2 others in my constituency, which is the largest in Lake Victoria, whether you have there. And then for water, again, I'm just concerned about the reduction for water for schools, but it would be good to also know if you can have a list of the schools that these waters are going to per constituency, and even to ensure equity within constituency. So it's not just per constituency, but as members of parliament, we will also know whether there is equity within the constituency. And that just, not just water, but for irrigation as well. Just the element of equity in distribution. And because all politics is local, it wouldn't make sense for me to sit here to pass budgets that have nothing that relates to areas that we come from. And from page 1 to the last, there's hardly anything in this water and sanitation, irrigation, blue economy, and fisheries that has anything to do with Nyanza and Western. There's hardly anything here. So if you're talking about equity, we need to have an indication whether they are either not affected and they are in the main budget, and if so, which ones are they, just for fairness.
Honorable Major Donk.
Thank you, Chair. My first question goes to the project that is talking about, the Dodora sewage project. You are saying that you are reallocating money for the same project to pay the pending bill for the same project, right? My question now goes, how do you reallocate money that has already been budgeted to pay for a pending bill for the same project? Or we have many projects in the dollar. That's why you are saying this is project A and B. I would wish to have a list of those pending bills, that the projects that are being done. The other one is about this Nairobi River Commission. I believe we have a commission that is dealing with cleaning Nairobi River. I have seen that you have put money, I think on page 16 on the budget. Yes. The project 200 million that will help in cleaning up Nairobi River, who feeds the Kwendam. This work, I think, belongs to the Nairobi River Commission. The other one is about the 50 million borehole in a prophetic church, even if it was done, I think, last financial year. You have talked about it, I think, in supplementary or the budget. Prophetic church borehole costing 50 million. Do government, or is the government required to fund a borehole in a private institution? Thank you, Chair.
I also want to applaud my brother Kangogo for the presentation. My points have been mentioned, but I also want to remind Kangogo, I was on the floor when you said that this committee is, not doing justice to your department. That suggests that I wanted to ask about the landing sites. There was a request for Lake Baringo landing sites, at least 10 sites, I think. I don't know whether it came to your committee, and if there's a way we can have a consideration, that will be very nice. I was in public participation, and this was a really a pressing issue. And then we also, I've seen you have allocated most of the monies specifically for flooding and all those kind of things, infrastructure. I have not seen where you are purposefully putting money to harvest rainwater, because this is the only opportunity for us to have a sustainability. When it is raining, we need to have a way that we can harvest most of this water so that we can use it during the dry seasons. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, I want to join my colleagues first. The chairman has accused this committee, and it is good today he is also on record, state that where we have interfered specifically. I could have, with your direction, Chair, the chairman could first, before answering our questions, be specific and tell us where as a committee we have interfered, because this is in record, this is the only committee that respects the chairmen of various committees, and we really worked very well with the departmental chairs. So accusing a whole committee of something wrong that I'm not aware of any wrong that we have made to this chairman. So can the chairman substantiate? If not, can he apologize to this committee, because he does not have faith in this committee and he wronged us. So I think even before we start transacting any business, it is good the chairman to be on record and tell us and state very well. Having said that, Chair, in what the committee did on supplementary 2 is that they made some reallocations, and in the main budget I have seen that they have returned the same money where they have reallocated the money. But the reasons, can the chairman guarantee this committee, because there is a project that we have allocated money, one financial year is almost 1 month too, and the reasons and the justification given by the committee was that some of the committees are in early stage, some of the projects are in early stage of design, some contracts, the contractor abandoned. So can the chairman, instead of returning this money, he has said he has some other works, because he has rightly put it that in Mombasa and northern region, the floods destroyed the waterworks. So instead of returning this money again to this, because I'm sure the chairman will be here again in supplementary 1 and then supplementary 2 by telling us the contractors abandoned the work, that they are still in early stage. So what guarantee can he give us as a committee that they will utilize this money? Number 2, on supplementary 2, page 17, the reallocations the chairman has done, for example, on this one of Eldas, 160 million, he has reallocated to the small funds. What guarantee will the chairman give to this committee that they will utilize within a month? Thank you.
Honorable Kagongo.
Honorable Atadi, the Honorable Atadi has asked about the current water. I would like him to answer, considering it as a Nairobi County, because I believe we all live in, most of us lives in Nairobi County, and we know none has a running water in their taps.
Share water. I have a question. In Nyeri County, we've been promised Karimeno Dam and Narumoro Dam for now over 6 years. Now the worst, it's not even appearing anywhere. Again, the Tana water. I can't see any allocation for Tana water, which caters for Nyeri, Meru, Kirinyaga, Embu. There is nothing here. So I'm wondering. Another thing is about the reallocation of part in page 17. I can see there's some money you are trying to reallocate for cross-county bulk water and sanitation. There is a water for schools, better water harvesting projects. I would also like to know which are those water harvesting projects you are targeting. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable JP.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I will start with
Thank you, Chairman.
Honorable JP first.
I have seen, Mr. Chairman, that on the blue economy and the fishery, and even the State Department for Irrigation, like the funds are being reduced or reallocated. I wanted to know from the chairman if this committee or if this department are capable to absorb this money, or we should reduce the money to the minimum amount which the committee can absorb in good time. Secondly, or the second question is about on the supplementary budget, rehabilitation of the office. This one, 20 million. I want to know how that fund was utilized. Then, Mr. Chairman, there is this allocation for the El Nino, 70 million. I would like to know from the chairperson the areas which benefited with this 70 million. And my last question is, during our public participation, Mr. Chairman, when we were at Meru, the question was raised about the Hura Dam. This Hura Dam connects more than 6 sub-counties within that county of Meru. I have not seen it here. Maybe I would like to know from the chairperson if this Hura Dam is factored. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Proceed, Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I want to say, I chair a committee of Parliament of water, irrigation, and blue economy, and which is equal to this committee of budget and appropriation. And as members of Parliament chair, I have a lot of respect for all of you as my colleagues. I have a lot of respect for the committee, our committee chair, or the committee leadership, and the committee members. And this one chair, in the floor of the House, before even I talked about some interference in the floor of the House, I had shared with you, and I wrote a letter to you. On just as it was about 200 million, which I read, and the answer for this committee is here, 200 million for, I think it was for under State Department of Irrigation, National Water Harvesting. That when it came out, the 200 million was put under a different project, completely different project in the ministry, so I didn't know. So even when we discussed with the PS, and when I discussed with you, I think we had, you told me maybe probably in Treasury when they were realigning at the final stages, maybe that is where the error came. And we agreed with you, Chair. You told me to write for you a letter so that you can check where that problem came. When I shared in the floor of the House, I didn't accuse any member. I said there is some small, I saw some small reallocation in water budget, which has also been discussed in the ministry. And that it's probably that it is either that interference happened in the committee or at Treasury. That was what I said, Chairman, and I shared it before you. I even wrote a letter. You told me, it is you told me to write a letter so that you can check with Treasury. So the issue that I interfered or I accused the committee, Honorable Chair, is neither here or there. And I'm not going to apologize on anything because I think I followed the procedure. I wrote a letter, and I think it was corrected later through Treasury. Then,
But Chairman,
proceeding.
Yes, Honorable JP.
Chairman, I was in the floor of the House that day, and the chairman said that we were the ones who did reallocate the money. So he's going to tell us clearly because he is saying that he wrote letter to you, accusing us of relocating that money if he was aware of the truth where the money was relocated from.
Chair, it is late because personally I was not there, but it's unfortunate that you are admitting that you said it in the floor of the House. And again, you are saying that you had talked to the chair and you even wrote a letter to the chair. So I think it was only courteous if you had looked for chair to come and consult with him. Because you see now what happened when we are being blasted in Parliament. Now you are supporting whoever was blasting the budget committee, and it is not fair. So, Chair, I don't think it is good for you to say that you can't apologize. It is only fair. Just to say you didn't mean to do that, I think it's fair. It's not good to say that I'm not going to apologize, and yet members are saying they were there and they heard you. Thank you, Chair.
So, Honorable Chair, like I said, I have a lot of respect for this committee. I have a respect for my colleagues here. And what I said in the floor of the House, I didn't mean to demean this committee or anything. I just said there was a small issue, and even I had brought it earlier, before even coming. It's only that I think some other members in the floor, there was another discussion, something. It was not that I initiated that thing. I think there was there was a discussion on the floor, and I said that that interference, it is something small, but like I've already said, I have a lot of respect. So, Honorable Chair, allow me to proceed to answer these other questions, and starting with the Member of Parliament for Kiambaa. The member is saying that there is no project for Athi Water. Honorable Chairman, let me say this. Where there is no reduction or addition in my presentation, it means that their budget is not interfered. And Honorable Chair, I want to say this. I'm only a chair of a committee who is submitting on behalf of the ministry, which we oversee. All the proposals here are proposals from the ministry. Like on my opening remarks, I said we sat with the ministries and the circuses from Monday. And on Athi Water, there are so many projects. Because if I'm told to list the projects in Athi Water, there are many. But I'm only saying some small area where this supplementary or the budget estimate 2024-25 as some additions or subtractions. On the issues of flood control, Honorable Chair, the money, the Honorable Kawanjiku was asking the issue that last time there was an allocation for flood control. And if you check the money we are putting, Chair, it's just for paying that pending bill. And it's just a small issues there, because I remember this committee allocated almost about 450. And it has really worked across the country. So they are paying the pending bill just to finish up that issue. On the water for schools, Chair, if you see, we are reducing. This money, if you check the head, is at the headquarters. What we are trying to do, we are removing the money from the headquarters because the headquarters doesn't have the capacity to implement these projects in all our schools. So we are taking them to the SAGAs. And remember, Chair, like I said before here, there are many projects which are still in headquarters. And headquarters, in many cases, they are supposed to be policy makers. They don't implement projects. So we are trying to discuss with the ministry so that all those monies in the headquarters, we put them in the SAGAs, so that the SAGAs, say for instance, the Central Rift, they will work on schools around the Central Rift Valley. Yes.
Okay, I'm getting you, Chairman, but which SAGAs are you taking to? Because when I see, I'm trying to do mathematics here, you've taken to Mosongo, that's 250. I can't see, like you've said, South Rift. I can't see where you've allocated part of this 500 to South Rift or other water bodies. So my issue here is you've taken the 500, instead of redistributing to all the other water bodies equitably, you've taken huge amounts to 2 or 3 water bodies. That's where my issue is.
The money, Honorable Chair, like Honorable Chair, the discussion we had with the ministry, I don't know even where Mosongo is. It is somewhere in, I think, in Trans Nzoia or Western Kenya. The proposals by the ministry, Honorable Chair, when they give us their proposal that this is what, and you know, water for schools has been a continuous for many years. It's a project which has been running, I think, for almost 10 years. Some areas where it is been covered, or Mosongo, I think it's under Lake Victoria North. Some projects which are being implemented by Lake Victoria North, like many of them are water for schools. So I think the reason why the money they have put there, Honorable Chair. So, like I said, I'm only submitting what I got from the ministry, but like the concerns you've given here as members, you will find that many of these schools, or many of these water for schools, is not covering the entire country. So I would need maybe later to ask the ministry to give me a list. I submit now the list of water for schools since the inception, what they have done. Then I will maybe avail to this committee, Honorable Chair.
Yes, Honorable Mili.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I don't know if the chair of the committee was being very smart by accusing us, so that we cannot then interrogate very carefully. You see the issue that has been raised, yeah? The issue that has been raised that if you remove water and take to maybe 1 or 2 authorities, then it means that there will be skewed allocation. Now, when we are interrogating that, you are telling us you will go and ask the ministry for the list. As a committee, a budget committee, we're here to make sure that one of the things that is done is that the Constitution is complied with, including on the issue of equitable contribution. So I think that aside, Chair, I think maybe the chairman just needs to know, as much as we normally don't interfere with the work of committees as much as possible, but really where there is blatant abuse of constitutional rights, a committee can interfere. I think that should be very clear. I'm not saying we are going to,
yes,
but where there is, the committee can interfere. Assuming maybe I'm the chairperson of this committee, and you discover that all the money that has been allocated in this country on water irrigation and blue economy just goes to Suba North. You think the budget committee will pass such a budget? Of course not. But I just want us to be clear, or I want you to guide us how you think we need to move, where we are talking about water for schools, so we should change it to water for some schools.
Yes. I think before I give Honorable Moshera, we need to come to some understanding, because as the chair of this committee also, I also have responsibilities over the members of this committee. And we have legal people in this committee and even in the departmental committee for water. And I want to make it very categorical, and anyone with other facts can actually correct it. The fact that this committee, since inception, has been very magnanimous in always consulting with departmental chairs on every issue. We have 20 departmental chairs who appear before us. We consult with them over any change that we make. However, reading the PFM Act, reading the standing orders, we are not obligated even to consult. We are actually neither obligated to have any explanation on Honorable Kagogo on any change you could have made. We do it because we want to work harmoniously. And I don't think it is proper for us to look at any opportunity available then to cast aspersion on people who have been very kind. I mean, Honorable Kagogo is here, has explained. The issue came in, we consulted with the Parliamentary Budget Office. A letter was written to the National Treasury, but months down the line, then Honorable Kagogo had then to bring up the issue for us to shoulder. And we are kind. I mean, there has been other budget committees before. So the fact that we are doing any change, and Honorable Kagogo is aware here that we do our best to consult, even where there are tensions. And in fact, when it comes to disruptions of his budget, or any other departmental committee, and there are 20, I'm repeating, there are 20. I don't know whether all the, we just been pointed on Honorable Kagogo's MDAs to be unfair to him, for us to deserve that. And also, because as Honorable Kagogo is here, he's a chair. I mean, even these members, as you correctly said, are also members of parliament. As you are. Even me being chair of budget, I'm just an MP, only that there cannot be two chairs of budget, so one is given a responsibility to just sit on the chair. But all the members here are qualified. As Honorable Kagogo, all your members are equally qualified to be the chair for the MDAs that you oversight. And therefore, in my considered opinion, Honorable Kagogo stated clearly that this committee is as equal as water, and I agree with him. But the same way, I cannot go to his departmental committee and then do his job, call a meeting, or accuse them unfairly. I think it is not asking for too much from Honorable Kagongo to also request that if there are no issues, there's no need to bring up an issue. But if there are issues, we are okay to shoulder them and explain. You've rightly explained now what happened around that issue. I mean, was it necessary? And I'm sure you have competent people there. I know them. They can guide us even now. What the standing orders say about budget making process, what the PFM Act says about budget making process, so that members of this committee should also know you are not in a prison. Members of budget, you are not tied that then whatever is presented here has to be. We only do it for courtesy. And if that is the case, then there are many tools in the toolbox, and if they are to be used, it's fine. I think Honorable Kagongo, and I don't think as a chairman of budget, I would sit here in this meeting without a clear explanation about the happenings on the floor. I don't think I would be here chairing this meeting. You could as well then go through the process so that we don't interfere with your work. Then you can carry on and finish it. As the Honorable Abdraiman.
Thank you, Chair. With Honorable Millie, and the Chairman has rightfully put it, that this 500 million is putting it from, he's removing it from water for schools. He said that he's removed from headquarters and taken to the sagas. So we want the Chairman to be very clear and tell us, because in each region, in this country we have 8 regions, and each region we have water works that serves the interest of that region. So it is not right that water meant for money meant for water for schools being used for other purposes. So can you be very clear and tell us which chagas do you take into this money, so that at least you'll be very clear on it?
You are removing 500 and the 300, and you are taking to sagas. And then you are saying you'll ask the ministry which sagas are benefiting. But these are committee recommendations. I'm sure the State Department did not ask this. It is upon the wisdom of the committee that you decided to reallocate to those sagas. So it is not the ministry which has the list. I'm sure you are the one with the list, and that's why you recommended that reallocation. So it's good, I think, you explained to us. We just want to understand why probably on the committee wisdom you only decided to pick 3 and not all the sagas.
Honorable Millie.
Chair, on behalf of Danson Mwashako, who is a member of this committee, about Mzima 2 that was in the 2023-24 budget but has disappeared. What is the status of Mzima 2?
Honorable Chair.
If I chair for Mzima 2, Mzima 2, Honorable Chair, was put under PPP projects. The government has moved Mzima 2 from being funded by GOK. It's been taken to PPP. It's among the 3 big dams which was taken to PPP. That's why it is no longer appearing here. So, Honorable Chair, on the issue of the list, maybe I will consult with my clerk so that maybe by the time I finish with this committee, I'll ask them maybe to submit that list for water for schools, so that as the committee considers their reports, I can give out. Like I said, Chairman, we have millions of primary and secondary schools in Kenya. 500 million is just a small amount of money. It's very small. And like I said, this project has been going on for the last 10 years. So when there is a small funds from Treasury, they look at where they had funded 2 or 3 years ago, then they take it to where.
Honorable Kagongo, sorry for interruption, but members, as you know, we run on a program-based budget. Program-based budget means as we sit here to interrogate the budget for the various departmental committees, you as members are answerable on the floor also to other colleagues and to Kenyans, where, for example, the monies that are block figure are going to. And therefore, we may not proceed with this meeting if there is no proper documents, because then what are we deliberating on? The report you are going to write is on program-based. Program-based meaning specifics. And therefore, if the committee is not prepared, we could adjourn and then come when you are prepared with all the information so that members can categorically be able to internalize the figures. Because as you put it on the floor, we are answerable to every member. We don't want to be answerable on the basis of ignorance. Let us also be oriented with specifics, specific meanings, the water agencies, the water projects, where they are, so that we are able to do justice also to other members of parliament. Honorable Moshera.
And I want to support you as of department presents the budget. And once we approve the budget, it now becomes our baby. Once I've seen people still accusing budget that we allocate CG money for waters, CG only for some people, CG we allocate roads only to some people. So I want to support you, Chair. Let's have the list so that once we adopt the report, we are able to answer to the rest of the members where we are taking this money to.